This video has been sponsored by Digital Extremes and I have been paid for its creation. The Corpus ship was the first tile set in Warframe, and now in June of 2020 it has received a complete overhaul with the free Deadlock Protocol update. On top of the Corpus ship overhaul, the Deadlock Protocol update has brought a new quest that is accessible when players have completed the Vox Solaris quest in Fortuna and when they are at least Mastery Rank 4. The Deadlock Protocol quest provides lore on the history and founding of the Corpus faction and provides a new game mode in the form of the Granum Void missions that can be accessed aboard the Corpus ships via the Golden Hands once you've completed the quest. The update also contains the new support Warframe Pro tier that can be acquired after the completion of the Deadlock Protocol quest and player experience within the Granum Void missions. Thanks to Digital Extremes, you can start playing the Deadlock Protocol today for free. Also, for a limited time, you can input the universal code Iwoply-DLP into the promo code page on the Warframe website or via the in-game market redemption screen to acquire a universal glyph to commemorate the launch of the Deadlock Protocol. This glyph code will be available up until the 28th of June 2020. With that said, today's video will be focused on documenting, archiving, and comparing the original Corpus ship tileset with its updated and remastered version. To begin this comparison, we'll start with the Jackal boss. The Jackal's boss room was symmetrical, with two entrances or exits that were small with a single staircase and terminal inside. As for the arena, it featured 4 pillars around the center of the room, walls with multiple doors and balconies, 6 skylights above each of the walls that displayed the skybox outside, and 2 broken conveyor belts above the boss that would frequently drop crates that when destroyed provided ammo and a few resources. Now, for the boss, prior to the Deadlock Protocol, the Jackal was a yellow quadruped that lay dormant at the center of his single-tile boss room. The fight would initiate once the player stepped within 10 meters from the center. The Jackal featured 3 weapons and 1 unique ability. The first weapon that the Jackal was fitted with was that of machine guns that fired from its head at the player. The ability by the Jackal was a ground stomp that emitted knockdown pulses with each stomp. In regards to this ability's use, the boss room had walls that featured a gap between the main floor and the wall. If the player was hit by the shockwave at certain angles, they would be launched into these holes that resulted in the player teleporting back to the starting position in the boss room. The second weapon it would use would be a grenade launcher, that when used would shoot timed grenades in an arc that would explode after a short duration. These grenades would be shot from the back of the Jackal after a short opening animation. The third and last weapon the Jackal would utilize would be that of its lock-on missiles, that when launched would target a player and follow them until impact with the tileset's geometry or the player themselves. To take down the Jackal, the player would first have to shoot 1 or 2 of its 4 legs, as the Jackal's legs were the only vulnerable section of the boss during its mobility stage. When 2 legs were shot, the Jackal would collapse to the ground and its previously invincible head and body were made vulnerable. Shooting the body or head at this stage would damage the Jackal's overall health. Once enough damage had been dealt to that section, the Jackal would rise back up and return to its mobility phase, for that process to repeat again until its destruction. Lastly, if the fight was to continue, the Jackal or Corpus would initiate reinforcements in the form of mine ospreys that would spawn from the deployment stations in the walls. So that was the original Jackal. As with the overall Corpus ship remaster, the updated Jackal's boss room now features a wider environment for combat while maintaining aspects of the original. The old separated entrance has been removed, although the updated room now has an open view of the arena with 2 holograms projecting the visuals of the Jackal with the Corpus glyphs and language circling around it. Now the 4 pillars and skylights remain, but now there are only 2 doors protected by lasers built into the walls. The remaster also removed the reinforcement ospreys and teleport volumes from the room. As for the Jackal itself, it remains a quadruped, but has received updated visuals appearing as a larger and bulkier blue version of its prior self. The Jackal is no longer visible upon entering the arena, as it now reveals itself during an updated introduction sequence when the player activates the terminal at the center of the room. The Jackal's introduction now features the return of its elevator, but instead of the Jackal, it holds a Corpus test proxy. The proxy is destroyed during the sequence as the Jackal reveals itself from above, thus initiating the fight. The Jackal retains its arsenal, the machines are fired from its head, but DE have now added a turret that is located further down its back. When firing the grenade launcher, it continues to open its covers, and the shockwave slam also remains in its kit, although the distance it travels has seemingly been reduced. While the Jackal does keep its original arsenal, it also receives a new ability in the form of a room-sized spinning laser wall. Players can identify this attack when the Jackal retracts and raises itself into the air. While it can activate this ability over time, it is guaranteed when the player takes down one of its legs. The Jackal will emit 4 blue walls that are harmless to the player, but after a few seconds these walls will turn orange, damaging any player upon making contact. During the fight through the activation of the laser wall or via the Jackal targeting them, the 4 pillars around the room will gradually be destroyed, removing the cover for the player. After the Jackal has finished utilizing its laser wall, it will slam on the ground, causing a room-sized shockwave that knocks down any players on the ground. Now, the takedown process for the Jackal remains the same, as the players need to take down 1 or 2 of its legs, but instead of the Jackal entering a vulnerable stage once you've done so, it now emits a laser wall ability, as I said before. Now, if the player damaged the Jackal's legs significantly before the activation of this ability, the Jackal will collapse to the ground, entering an immobile state that then allows the player to execute a Parazon finisher. This is the kill process, and unlike the original, the updated version now has 4 segments of health that indicate stages and leg status. After the first Parazon stab, the Jackal will retreat into a second room via a conveyor belt on the roof, with your Warframe following by using a Parazon as a grappling hook. During each stage of the fight, the Jackal's legs will start to become invincible, as with each stage, one gets destroyed, indicated by the health bar. Its appearance will also start to deteriorate, with smoke, sparks, and fire appearing, and its body gradually lowering towards the ground. The second room will be the final area for the fight, and unlike the first, features 8 electricity beams on the wall. During the fight in this area, if any of the 4 pillars within the room get destroyed, the beams will project walls of electricity from destroyed pillar to pillar. The Jackal will also flip his laser walls halfway through the process in the second stage, and this will become more frequent within the third and fourth stage. Now, at the start of this segment, I stated that the Jackal retained its arsenal, and that's true, as during the fourth and final stage, the Jackal starts to use its lock-on missiles. And then, with a 4th leg down and a final Parazon stab quickly executed, the Jackal gets destroyed. And that's that for the before and after for the Jackal, and the comparison between the two. Now, as for the Corpus ship tileset itself, the changes are grand. First off, units. The original tileset, much like the rest of the game, used the standard Corpus units, those being crewmen, nullifiers, snipers, mowers, and so on, which provided no distinction between units in the gas city, on Europa, or of course on the ships. With the remaster, DE updated the designs of the Corpus aboard the ships, providing them the title of Juno. These Juno units are found only aboard the Corpus ship tileset with unique colours, weapons, and models. Some new units have also been added for the crew. The units are the Treasurers that cast out mines and temporarily activate invisibility, the explosive Minima Mowers that are spawned from the Juno Sniper, who themselves are equipped with the new Stalter weapon. The Juno Dera Mower has been outfitted with a Dera atop its head. The Juno Crewman holds a new NPC Corpus weapon. The orange Juno Disc Mower utilizes its disc launcher. The Juno Tactus Osprey shoots grenades at players unlike the Mine Osprey. The Juno Glaxian Mower causes a cold status effect, and Juno Nullifiers use the dual Sestras, and so on. These unique units, their colouring and weapons provide a distinction between positions and placement across the system within the Corpus faction. It's no longer the same units appearing on the different locations, there is now a distinction between the Corpus ship units and those on the Orvalis as an example. The Orvalis has Terra units, and now the Corpus ships have Juno. Secondly, we have the Skybox. Prior to the Deadlock Protocol, the Venus Skybox featured a number of Corpus ships nearby to the player's orbiter. Of course, if they were in it. You could also see the Skybox from your railjack. Now, those ships were seen from within the tileset as well. These ships would also, after a while, move out from the area. However, with the Deadlock Protocol, Digital Extremes updated the Skybox for Venus to showcase solely the planet. In an interview posted on the PlayStation blog, Matt Tremblay, environment art director for Warframe, shared the following after being asked, what are some of the key visual design principles behind the level design in this update? Where he had shared the following. During this development, we also have been updating and developing both old and new skyboxes. So we've been sure to include lots of opportunities within the construct of the ship to allow for views of space, as well as to allow players to witness the pitched battles in the railjack space when they are playing those missions. So let's move to the tile set. The original Corpus ship tile set was built during a time where the bullet jumps and mobility options we have available in the game today weren't reality. It was a very different time for Warframe. We definitely didn't have all the Warframes and options we have right now. So I will continue the answer that Matt provided, which was in that PlayStation blog. This remaster has been on the books for a while, and so our ideas have had time to mature. For the remaster, we stay true to the commercial and capitalist aims of the Corpus, but for the first time tried to connect the visuals to the almost cult-like worship of wealth that the Corpus possess. When we developed the Infested Corpus ship set years ago, we came up with an approach we utilised to hopefully give players a strong sense that they were inside a large ship, and we utilised a similar approach applying the lessons that we have learned since. It is also worth noting that the style of movement and gameplay that the original set was built for is not the same as the movement and gameplay that exists in the game today. So much of the design energy was focused on adapting the old or creating fresh experiences for our players. With those words shared, the original tile set for the most part was compact, comprised of breakable windows. The most notable case of breakable windows was this T intersection you're seeing on screen that featured a long window along the main hallway. If a bullet or ability impacted with this reinforced window, the tile would enter a lockdown requiring players to hack a nearby terminal to activate an emergency shield, as you can see. Now, as for the remastered tile sets, breakable windows are no longer a reality, and the windows are solely used to showcase the skyboxes across the system that I mentioned beforehand. They are also being used to showcase the unique animations such as Corpus fighters taking off or docking, and the outside visuals of the ship itself. In the original Corpus tile set, there were only 2 true spawn rooms. In total, there were 5, but there were only 2 that were true dead ends. The first was a single storage room with canisters and barrels flooding the roof and walls, as they were attached to plates. The room would have a hackable terminal for survival missions, but also a Corpus terminal that they would presumably use. A conveyor belt also sat along the roof. The second spawn room was larger, but once again starting you in a storage room. This time it would house Corpus outfits on hangers. Upon exiting the storage room, you would be greeted by a view of the skybox through a large 5-plate window. Under this window was a locked door that never opened, with a crate sitting in front of it. This spawn room had 3 doors linking to other tiles, the one on the left after exiting the storage room, one to the far end on the right, and another door in between down a hallway. Now, Corpus walls in the old tile set were usually comprised of a blue ripple material. That's what you can see right now. Now, the aforementioned hallway also had a single glass window on the floor surrounded by grates that showed an old generator. Another feature within the original tile set was that of companion mower terminals. These terminals, when hacked, would spawn a friendly mower. They do not exist in the remastered tile set. Now, as for the remaster, we have 2 spawn rooms. The first has you spawn in front of a large statue of the Corpus founder. One of the doors to the right of the statue remains open with a barrier between air and space, but upon the player walking near the door, it closes. Making your way up to the long entrance, 2 advertisements will open showing holographic Corpus icons for the founder. To the left and right of the walkway, there are skylights showcasing the skybox and ship exterior once again. Under the walkway, you will find glass windows with Granum Crown-filled water. The spawn room continues with 2 stairs leading to another short hallway with a door at the end, all while featuring the updated textures. It's a main reason why I'm showing you the spawn rooms. The jump in quality from the old to the new is massive just with the spawn rooms alone. You see the outside of the ship, the walls and designs. Now, a stair leads you to another long hallway. There's also a stair behind you when you get up those first stairs, which will lead you to another long hallway with a locked door to the left and a connecting tile to the right. As for the second spawn room, once again, it starts you in a long single hallway that appears to be on top and in the center of the ship. Windows do follow the hallway with the Corpus ship holographic rotating outside. Halfway along the hallway, you'll see another statue of the Corpus founder, with propaganda and holographic display shown alongside him. Within the cubicles in this room, under those propaganda posters, there are the treasurer units repeating their work. Reaching the end of the hallway, the Corpus founder glyph and graphic appears up on the wall, and then down the ramp, you'll find the first golden hand gate. These hands are used to begin the Granum Void missions. Now, a holographic display appears to the left of the hand leading to a door, and to the right of the hand a solid display showcasing Corpus language while a domestic drone cleans the floor. Now, a door can also be found to the left. The details and quality shown just in the spawn rooms alone extend to the rest of the tileset remaster. We saw it with the Jackal boss fight. Lots of work and lots of detail went into this tileset. So, while the original Corpus ship tileset showcased sections of a ship and provided a glimpse of inner workings of the Corpus faction, the updated remaster version goes above and beyond by providing a generator, bridge, artillery, various production and management, cooling, storage, research labs, docking bays, viewing platforms, and a lot more detail. So the spawn rooms are just the start when it comes to comparing the old with the new. I'll now leave you with a number of comparison clips from my comprehensive recording sessions that will furthermore compare the old with the new, especially when it comes to audio. Thank you for watching this video. Once again, thank you to Digital Extremes for sponsoring its creation.
Easy repayments, they said. Psst. Reckon you could see your way towards, you know, locks? Guts. No worries. You've gotten out of worse? No worries. A little help? Let's be jovial, fill our glasses. Madness 'tis for us to think how the world is ruled by asses. Neff could drive a saint to drink. Hey ho, naughty naughty ho. Hey ho.